All right, all you high performers, this is how you can lose 1 pound of body fat a week, but more importantly, keep it off for life. Part number one, the science of losing 1 pound per week and melting your dad bod and turning it into a Chad bod. And answering the question, Ben, so what do I gotta do to lose 1 pound a week? And then part number two, the psychology of losing weight, but more importantly, keeping it off. So basically the how and the sustainability. Answering the question, so Ben, how can I sustainably do this? Think of results and sustainability like a scale that you're trying to constantly balance, like this. And if you go all for results, sustainability falls and then you fail, and you don't want to fail. But if you go all sustainability, well, that's what you're doing right now, and you're not moving towards your goal, and we don't call it sustainability. We just call it failure. So you need the balance of both results and sustainability that is specific to you in order to achieve the long-term sustainable weight loss. It should look something like this: results and sustainability perfectly balanced. So let's start here. The science of losing 1 pound of body fat per week, the what and the results, aka melting off that gelatinous gut. So why does the body even store fat? Our bodies store fat for this simple reason alone, because you're eating more calories than you're actually using or burning. So think of fat like as a stored energy source. 1 pound of fat actually equals 3,500 calories per day. So if you want to lose 1 pound of fat per week, all you need to do is make sure you're in a caloric deficit of 3,500 calories per week or 500 calories a day. Got it? But Ben, how do I know the correct deficit for me? Don't worry guys, I got you. There are 3 factors that influence this. Number 1, your basal metabolic rate, or your BMR, basically the amount of calories your body needs just to keep your body functioning and staying alive. Number 2, your ADL, or the activities of daily living, so just your daily movement, doing your chores, that kind of stuff. And number 3, specific exercises. And here's a hack to skip all the math and find this number for yourself right now really easily. So go to tdecalculator.net, which is your total daily energy expenditure. Basically, the amount of calories your body burns throughout your daily. So basically, sorry guys, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I had to go through speech and occupational therapy after the second coma, which I suffered back in September 2020. So I've actually been in 2 comas. So if I mess up, that's why. I'll put the comments. I'll leave the TDE calculator in the comments down below. And here's where you input your stats. So you put your age, your gender, your weight, your height, and your activity level. So here I put 30, 220 pounds, 5'10", moderate activity level. And here you go. So as a 30-pound male, 30-year-old male, 5'10", and you weigh 220 pounds, you do moderate exercise. The maintenance calories you need to just maintain your body would be 2,946 calories a day. But if I were you guys, I would probably pick something a little bit less than moderate exercise just to be more safe. So I'd pick like either sedentary or light exercise, because moderate exercise would be if you're going to the gym pretty intensely about 3 to 5 days a week. So you're going to take these calculations with a grain of salt, because the best way to see what a true deficit is for you is by actually testing it. Truth bomb number 1, and some of these might hurt your guys' feeling, but it's only to help you out. There is no magic eating pattern for weight loss. And that means that traditional meals, where you eat 3 meals a day with 2 snacks, intermittent fasting, or OMAD, or 1 meal a day, they all work for fat loss. And the difference between them is how sustainable they are for you. But for results, there's little to no difference. So pick one, test and iterate depending on how maintainable it is for you. But you need a caloric deficit, and the greater the deficit, the faster the results. But this does not mean it makes it any more sustainable though. Theoretically, you could eat your maintenance calories for 6 days and not eat anything the 7th day, and you would lose weight, because if there's a caloric deficit, you will lose weight no matter what. It's just science, guys. So you could eat all your meals and snacks in just one sitting, or you could spread it all out to 12 different meals a day, and the results will be the exact same thing. Meal timing does not affect fat loss in any meaningful way at all. It will affect how you feel though, but that's for sustainability. Truth bomb number 2. There's no such thing as a weight loss food. That's a fucking fitness industry lie. There are foods that make weight loss a lot more sustainable, which are like high volume, low calorie foods, just to make you more full and less hungry, like vegetables and fruits. But they do not help you lose fat or weight any quicker. You could eat all carbs and eat them all after 8 p.m. As long as you're in a caloric deficit, you'd still lose weight. And you could actually eat Twinkies as long as you're in your caloric deficit, you'd still lose weight. But you'd probably end up skinny fat with diabetes. And no one wants to be skinny fat or have diabetes. And it'd be really hard to maintain, which we'll talk about in a second. And you'd lose maintaining the muscle, which most people do. When they see that they're down 6 pounds, they assume it's all body fat, when it's not. So do not do that. You guys want a proper macronutrient distribution so you don't lose any muscle while you lose the weight, because you want to be losing fat. So make sure you guys are eating enough protein just to maintain that muscle mass, because you do not want to end up skinny fat, because that's the fucking worst body type to have. You want to have the muscle. You want to keep the muscle you have, because the more muscle you have, the higher your BMR is, your basal metabolic rate, and allows you to burn more calories throughout the day just through your daily movement and daily activities. Think of your body as an engine. You want more muscle to become a more powerful machine to burn fuel a lot quicker. Like this Lamborghini over here probably gets like 5 miles to the gallon, whereas the Prius gets like 40 to 50. So you want to be more like the Lamborghini, meaning your body just burns through the gas really quickly, not the Prius that just stores it. Stores the body fat. You want muscle just to burn through the calories that way your body doesn't store onto any body fat. And don't worry, guys, you're not going to end up too big and too bulky. Trust me, I've tried my entire life to get too big and bulky. I'm still not there. Instead, you're going to get lean and shredded, like my client Naveen, who did this in only 90 days, 26 pounds. So take your goal weight and multiply it by 1. And that's the amount of protein you need to eat in grams daily. And the rest of your calories, you can just fill them in with carbs and fats. I would pick more carbs and fats just because they actually help you stay fuller more longer, and they help you build more muscle mass. But more on this later. So if you want to weigh 180 pounds, you'd want to eat around 180 grams of protein a day. You don't got to be exact. 10% off is completely fine, but try to be as close as possible. Truth bomb number 3. If you're losing more than 1 pound per week, then you're probably in more than a caloric deficit of 500 calories per day. And that means you're losing lean body mass instead of fat. And lean body mass is water, muscle, and bone. And this is the stuff that we actually want in your body, unlike fat. Because you want more muscle, because that will give you more toned physique, a faster metabolism, which while you're resting and exercises, you'll burn more calories just because your BMR is through the roof. Because the more muscle you have, the higher your BMR is. And water, which gives you more energy, mental clarity, increased performance, and just a better ability to problem solve, aka less brain fog and less brain fatigue, so you don't have to survive on just chugging a full pot of coffee like every 3 or 4 hours just to keep your brain alive. Also, bone density. This is the weight you actually want, unlike fat, because it makes you more resistant to bone breaks as you age. So don't get too excited if you realize you're losing more than 1 pound a week on average. I would rather get concerned and adjust as needed. Plus, the greater the deficit, the greater the chance of you losing muscle as you lose fat. Not good, because you're going to end up fucking skinny fat, remember? And this can be reduced by increasing your lifting and training frequency, but never totally. Plus, by focusing on only losing fat and having less of a deficit, you make it a lot more maintainable, meaning less hunger, gets rid of the need for excessive cardio to burn off the extra calories. Because for me personally, I hate doing cardio. So as long as you're in a caloric deficit, you don't gotta do cardio to lose fat. Sounds pretty good, right? Change the way you're measuring progress from weight loss to how your pictures look. I actually recommend taking a starting pic the very first day you start and take one each week to compare. In the same mirror, same lighting preferably, just so you can see how your body changes. Because you see yourself in the mirror every day, so it's kind of hard to tell if you're changing. So sometimes you're like, man, I look the same. But when you look at the pics from one week to the next, you're like, oh wow, I had a bigger gut last week. I had smaller arms. So I always recommend taking one picture when you start and one every single week moving forward. Now, with that being said, there's a lot to be considered in sustainability, and we're not going to be able to cover it all. But we will cover some of the main ways to approach sustainability and the actions that you can actually start with. Following these actionable steps will make your plan a lot more maintainable. And if you're finding this type of content helpful, leave a like and a comment below, and I'll make more like it. Part number 2, the psychology of losing 1 pound per week, the how and how to maintain the sustainability. Now, this is what's actually important. You see, you don't need to be told to eat less calories to lose fat. We all know that. I'm not stupid. You just can't stick to it because you haven't found something sustainable. Result-driven plans are all over the internet. These are the top 3 results I found for weight loss plans for men. Diet for rapid weight loss, sample meal plan, weight loss plan for men. And for a results-driven plan, they're all fucking solid. They all have you in a caloric deficit, and yeah, you can lose fat with it. But if all we needed were these result-driven plans, everyone with an internet connection would have a six-pack. And we know that's not true. Did you know there's actually more millionaires in the world than people with six-packs? So if you have a six-pack, you're a lot more rare than an actual millionaire. And like I said, obviously that's not the case. So all we need to do is focus on how to make sure this is actually sustainable for you in the long term. We need a results plus a sustainability driven plan. And this type of plan is a lot harder to make than like a cookie cutter plan is to create. Because what's sustainable for you is probably a lot more different than what was maintainable for Naveen, the man I showed you earlier. So instead of trying to give you just like a cookie cutter plan that probably won't really work well for you, I want to share with you the top methodologies that have helped me transform over 500 high performers' mindsets and physiques over the last decade. Sustainability secret number 1. You want to minimize pain and maximize pleasure. Because, we're human beings. Human beings, we always run towards pleasure and we always run away from pain. The majority of people, they try to lose weight and they just think, okay, how do I get results? Okay, do that. Got it. Let's just do it. Not even considering like all the emotional components that's part of us as a human. So if your plan to lose weight ever gets to the point where it's more pain than pleasure, you'll just stop and just give up and quit. And then you're back to square one, aka you're back to your yo-yo dieting. Starting a diet, quitting, starting, quitting. You've probably done that before, right? Plus, people, they usually wait for the perfect time to start a plan, which is not a good idea at all. Because, when you create a plan under perfect conditions, guess what? If you're not stressing out, the stress is coming. And if your plan doesn't have a buffer between pain and pleasure, you're going to stop and quit and give up. So when you're creating your plan, start with actions that are the lowest pain, highest results, aka the most pleasure. Everyone has a base of stress or pain in their life. But if you're trying to add more stress with exercise, tracking your food more, it's not going to last. So if you identify your stress as above a 7 out of 10, I would first focus on reducing that stress first before adding on any more stress to your plate with like more exercise, rules, tracking, etc. That would be the biggest lever to properly lose body fat and keep it off while putting on the lean muscle mass to just really, really rev up your metabolism. Sustainability secret number 2. Reduce negative feedback loops and create positive feedback loops. Example of a negative feedback loop is just weighing yourself every day. You're doing everything right, following your macros, exercising, but you haven't lost a pound. Boom, you feel punished, you feel the pain. Instead, do not weigh yourself daily because your body fluctuates daily, due to soda intake, water consumption, or if you shit out all the food you ate the day before. A positive feedback loop would be judging your progress on other factors that you feel rewarded for, like the daily actions you're taking, how you're following your meal plan, your workouts, and how your pictures are changing. So if you judge yourself based on your actions and not your scale weight, like, don't you think you'd be a lot more motivated to keep going forward? Yeah, because you're being rewarded, not punished. So here are some examples of how I create positive feedback loops with all my clients. I give them praise based on the properly taken actions, not on the results. So if someone comes to me and they hit all the macros on point, you did all the workouts, I give them praise, not on the results they got. Even if they did get good results, I still praise them on that, but I always make sure it's the action I praise. I also help them reframe their thinking so that they can be encouraged instead of discouraged with a poor result, like how you look in your latest picture. Like if you look at after one picture and you're like, man, my body didn't even change at all. I fucking suck. That turns into a negative feedback loop, and you do not want any negative thoughts in your fat loss journey. I also praise them within our groups, which raises their status within our brotherhood of high performers. I also help them adopt similar frames so that they can maintain these positive feedback loops without needing me in their corner forever, unless you want me in your corner forever. Sustainability secret number 3. Play an infinite game, not a finite one. So a finite game, the purpose is to win. It's externally defined, the winner wins the title, and you're just strategizing to win. An infinite game, the purpose is continue to play, like being married. That's an infinite game. You're not trying to just get married. The purpose of being married is maintaining that marriage throughout the rest of your life, just like fat loss. So make sure you're playing an infinite game and not a finite game. So just keep playing the game. There is no end goal because you're never, ever going to be fully satisfied with your body, I promise you. The hundreds of people I've helped break through to sustainable weight loss, they only do so when they play a different game. Instead of trying to lose 40 pounds as the game, instead they're trying to sustain 40 pounds lost as the game. You might say, well, Ben, that's the same thing, but it's not. If the way you win the game is to lose 40 pounds, you play a lot more aggressively, you cut your calories way too low, you probably just give up all your favorite foods, and then you're only relying on sheer willpower to get there. Only to be left on top of the mountain feeling excited at first when you lose all the fat, but then you're followed by burnout, deviation from perfection, when you can't keep up these super strict calories or you can't eat any carbs after 8 p.m., then you start spiraling out of control. Assuming you don't die on the climb, meaning quit when everything's just so fucking hard. So if your goal is to sustain the 40 pounds lost, even though you haven't lost it yet, you're going to be thinking about things that are sustainable and be thinking it in years instead of days, weeks, or months. Because remember, do you want to keep this body for a day, week, or month, or do you want to have the perfect body for the rest of your life? For me, I want to have the perfect body for the rest of my life, not a day, week, or month. Like my client Trevor here. He started with me back in December 2023, and only 98 days, we got him down to this. And he still gets to eat foods like this. 5 Guys, he had half the fries because big bags of fries. He had a double bacon cheeseburger. He also had 2 double-doubles with animal style fries because they all fit his macros. I fucking love In-N-Out. And yes, he also had a chocolate Oreo ice cream cake because they fit his macros. As long as you guys are in a caloric deficit, you can still eat your favorite foods and still lose body fat and put on muscle like Trevor did. And yet, he's lost 47 pounds in 98 days, still eating all that great food. And these results are not typical. So I wouldn't come in thinking, I'm going to burn 47 pounds in 98 days, because it's not typical. The best part is, he's not stopping anytime soon, because his pleasure is super high, and his pain levels are super low. Because, he's eating all the good food, losing fat, and looking great. Is this making sense? If it is, give me an amen in the comments. With this approach, you're going to be a lot less aggressive, and you'll think about creating habits in small steps because you want this to be habits that you're maintain for the rest of your life forever. No sane person is going to crank up the pain to 7, 8, 9, or 10 if they knew they'd have to do it for the rest of their life. Because you're going to lose the weight anyway, because the actions to lose weight are the same to sustain it. So doesn't it make sense to lose weight with the same approach to sustain it? I think it does. Because other way, as you probably know, doesn't work when you account for doing something unsustainable for years. Now, you may be thinking, I'm ready, this makes sense, but I just don't know how to get going. You need to break inertia, aka your inaction. You probably heard it before. An object at rest will stay at rest, and an object in motion will stay in motion. It's challenging to break inertia on your own, so just use as many tools as you can to help you break through that inertia or inaction. I recommend listening to audiobooks or podcasts, stuff that changes your input and thinking, which will change both your actions and your results. So you can get positive and helpful tips, insights into your body transformations using it, which is no extra time. So just listening to audiobooks and podcasts like when you're driving, doing chores, or like going for a walk. And also get a friend or a group of like-minded people, like in this group, or the people in my main program, the BLUEPRINT Fitness Brotherhood. They're all pursuing the same goal and mission. So if you don't have a friend that works out, use the people in this group. Get clear on your goals. Set a time frame and outline your path together. Because a dream without a plan is just a wish. So if you want your wish to be an actual goal, say, okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in like the next 4 months, and write out an outline of plan of how you're going to get there. Like say every single week, I'm going to follow my BMR, and every single week when I stop losing weight, I'll cut it by 100 calories, just for example. And your mind is like a heat-seeking missile. The more you can tell it exactly where to go, the easier it's going to be to get there. Bonus, get a coach. You don't got to do it alone. And if you're certain this is the last time you would ever need to start, then I'm sure you'd be more than willing to invest in yourself to make sure that this is the last time you ever had to go through this struggle again. But a coach is not required to make this change happen forever. But it does make it easier, much faster, and allows you to have a lot less ups and downs, or pain, pleasure, just all pleasure. And if you get the right one, they can guarantee your results will last for a lifetime, like me. And you may be thinking, Ben, that's all great, but how can I make my nutrition more sustainable? Here are 3 actionable strategies that you can do to make your nutrition more sustainable from day one. Number 1, include your favorite foods in. Don't decrease them. Do not deprive yourself of your favorite foods as long as you're in a caloric deficit. You can eat all your favorite foods as long as you're adhering to the science of weight loss, meaning you're in a caloric deficit. You just got to balance it properly. And if you like math and you want a simple way, follow the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. So 20% of your meals being your favorite foods and 80% being optimal. But do not binge and eat like a competitive eater 2 to 3 times a week, because 2 or 3 binge days of binging can just undo a full week of progress that you just suffer so hard to lose. That 1 or 2 days can just fuck it all up. And yeah, you can still eat foods that are less optimal as long as you're eating optimal foods 80% of the time. Remember, 20% good foods, your favorite foods, and 80% optimal. Plus, by focusing on increasing and not decreasing, aka depriving yourself, you're not going to have to fight the inner rebel that just wants you to cheat all day. Instead, you'll move towards a peace of mind around eating food you enjoy for probably the first time in your life, because you've probably been on diets before. Oh, I can't eat carbs. Oh, that cake looks so good. Oh my God, that's fucking pain, and you don't want pain. Choose an eating style that fits your lifestyle. And all of these work as long as you adhere to the science of weight loss. The 3 meals a day, 2 stacks, intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, all of them, as long as you're a caloric deficit, they will all work. It's all about setting yourself up for the right eating style that will be the easiest for you and gives you permission to adapt based on your lifestyle. Throw that perfection mentality out of the window. It does you no good. It serves you nothing. It does not serve you. It only limits you. I tell my clients all the time, the high performers who get to their goals and maintain it for years, they're the ones who try and fail over and over again, both falling off the wagon equally. Just the high performers that win, they call it adapting, and they don't tie emotion to it, and they just hop right back on the wagon when they fall off. And the ones that don't succeed, they feel bad about it, and they start a guilt cycle. Oh man, I cheated on my diet. I went up a pound. And they're stuck in that cycle of pain. The great news is there's nothing special between the people that do and the people that don't. They've just adopted new beliefs around food and weight loss. Number 3, eat your protein. If you really want a simple way to approach nutrition, simply focus on getting in your protein first. Protein keeps you fuller a lot longer than any other macronutrient, and make sure that you're not losing muscle when you're in a caloric deficit, aka ending up skinny fat. Pair that with drinking a gallon of water, bare minimum a day. And those 2 things alone can help you naturally cut out anywhere from 15 to 30% of calories that you're eating currently right now. So here are the closing notes. You can absolutely do this, guys. I believe in you. Zach wasn't special. Look at that. He embodied these principles, and we lost 22 pounds of fat, and we added 5 pounds of lean body mass. With fully visible abs, and he still sustains his body and progress to this day. He still looks like this even after we stopped working together around 6 months ago. And none of these men were special either. Naveen, he lost over 26 pounds in 90 days. Man, his story is powerful. When he first came to the BLUEPRINT Fitness Brotherhood, he was really worried like he wasn't getting the respect he used to because he's a 7-figure business owner. He tried keto, paleo, but he could never ever sustain the fat loss until he joined my program. I reset his metabolism by giving him a lot of lean total muscle mass that jacked up his metabolism through the roof and turned into this to this in only 90 days. Or Luke, a 7-figure business owner, he was in pretty good shape, but he knew that there was another level for him. So we lost 12 pounds of pure fat while putting on 6 pounds of lean muscle mass and adding 2 inches to his biceps in just under 15 weeks. He went from this to this in only 15 weeks. Look how much bigger he looks. He's 12 pounds lighter because we got rid of the fat and we put on 6 pounds of muscle mass. Or my client Lex. This took 6 months. He lost 60 pounds in 6 months, and his doctor told him, "Hey, bro, you got to get on keto because you're going to become a diabetic." But he would always go to his auntie's house. She could always be making like cornbread, mac and cheese, and he couldn't say no to it. So he'd fall off the wagon over and over again. But then I got him on my metabolic hacking method, and we lost 60 pounds in only 6 months. And he still looks like this to this day. Or my client, Dr. Vermillion. He was telling all his because he was a therapist, he was telling everyone, hey, you guys got to work out, take care of your body, but he was overweight. And we did this in only the first 7 months working together. Or my client, Avi, he didn't need to lose weight. He was super skinny, 161 pounds. And then we bulked him up, adding on 40 pounds, a little bit of fat and muscle mass. And then after about a year, shredded him down to this. Or my client Juan. Look at him here, 204 pounds, and him now 12 pounds lighter, and look how much better he looks. His biceps also grew 1.6 inches. His waist also dropped over 4 inches. Or my client right here, 7-figure business owner, Eric. We did this transformation in only 6 weeks. There's Avi again, and there's Trevor again. And none of these guys are any different from you at all. Or my own mutation, where I lost 52 pounds in only 5 months after my very first coma, after I got shot 3 times in Colombia, South America. And that's where I created my metabolic hacking method. So if this type of content was helpful, like this video, leave a comment below, and I'll make more of it. You don't need a coach. Use everything in this group, and you can get there eventually. But if you want to move faster, have less ups and downs, and want a lifetime of sustainable guarantees of your success, the best is yet to come. I believe in you, and you can actually become the ultimate version of yourself that you know exists within you. If you feel like you want to be part of the BLUEPRINT Fitness program, fill out the application that I'll leave in the comments below. And if you qualify, you can book in your free one-on-one body transformation planning session. So we can personalize a plan to get you these results a lot quicker. So stop, click the link in the comment section for the application waitlist, and join the next cohort. I hope to see you guys all there.